Hello, everyone, and welcome to iCritic Live. This is the podcast where we talk about entertainment, pop culture, and life in between. I'm your host, Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your time here with me today. And it's been a while since I've done a pure live stream. Impromptu, no real script, no real notes. Everything is going to be all natural, which may not be a great thing, but I wanted to do this for a couple of reasons. One, the iCritic media channel has just hit 1,500 subscribers. Thank you so much. I know some people go like, well, 1,500, I mean, it's not Mr. Beast numbers. Like, why are you so excited? It's like, you know what? I like to celebrate every little milestone. And the other reason I wanted to do this kind of impromptu is because I wanted to read the list as fresh as I could and discuss it. The list. What am I talking about when I talk about the list? I'm getting ahead of myself. So the New York Times did this list called the top 100 best movies of the 21st century. And what they did was they reached out to 500 directors, actors, producers, and important movie people, or at least they consider important, about what their favorite movies of the 21st century were. And after they calibrated all the votes, they put it together in a list of 100. Now, many of these people like Sofia Coppola and Seth Rogen and stuff like that have their own little top 10 choices. And one thing that New York Times did that was a lot of fun, and I participated in it as well, was they gave viewers, or readers, I should say, because it's a website, the chance to pick their own top 10 favorite films of the 21st century. Now, when I say 21st century, that means basically anything made after the year 2000. So there's not going to be any Godfathers here. There's not going to be Citizen Kane. There's not going to be Beauty and the Beast or Seven Samurai. None of those, or Toy Story. None of those things are going to be there. It had to come out after the year 2000. So I thought that was like really cool. And I actually think this was the most interaction the New York Times had gotten in quite some time from viewers, because I was on social media. My friends were having a ball sharing what their top 10 choices were and comparing it to their friends. And, even I'm like not 100% happy with my list, because, there were more than 10 years. And so I actually picked some movies that weren't even my number one choice of the year that year. Although I think I was the only one who actually selected United 93 as being part of the list. So I don't know how long this is going to take. We're just going to have fun. If you're joining me live, feel free to comment about any of these movies. We can talk about them. I'm going to try to share my little bits of opinion on all this jazz. But, I do like how they start. Like, I mean, when I opened it, all these images were moving. They're not really moving now, but let's scroll. Let our list help you. So I guess a big spoiler alert, their number one choice is going to be Parasite. Although it's really hard to say definitively what the number one movie of the 21st century would be, I'm not going to lie, Parasite is a very good one to choose. That really is about as perfect as a movie can be. And so it'll be interesting what else is on there, but I agree that Parasite is definitely worthy of at least being in the top 5 for the 21st century. Now, they say try a movie under 2 hours, so I guess these are movies on the list that were under 2 hours. You have like Gravity, Get Out, Frances Ha, Lady Bird, and Under the Skin. I actually have not seen Under the Skin, so I might actually have some movies to watch before this is all said and done. Put an epic on instead. You have The Lord of the Rings, Gladiator, The Wolf of Wall Street, Roma. I'm so glad that they picked Roma as an epic, because in many ways it is. There Will Be Blood. I don't know if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is an epic, but whatever. Interstellar. Love that one. See the star who appeared on the list the most. You have Brad Pitt, and I already love the fact that The Tree of Life is going to be on this list. Watch with your family. So there are some family movies here, or at least what they consider to be family movies. I will point out, just a little thing. I'm going to point this out. They have Little Miss Sunshine here, and Little Miss Sunshine's a great movie. That movie's rated R. I don't think that's a family film. And I would argue Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon isn't much of a family film either. I don't know too many kids who actually like that movie, but whatever. Like, this is what the New York Times picked, remember. And also remember, families are complicated. I love that. So they have the Rolex ad. Watch with your significant other. Interesting, because a couple of these movies are about people who are in toxic relationships, but whatever. They do have a section for that, though. Remember, relationships are complicated. You can dive into the action, and it makes me happy to see Mad Max Fury Road is going to be on this list. Or you could follow a thriller. There's some thrillers here. Is Whiplash a thriller? I don't think Whiplash is a thriller. I don't think The Act of Killing is a thriller either. In fact, that's a documentary, if I recall. And by the way, we have dogs in here, so if you hear them in the background, there you go. I'll laugh out loud. I've never seen Tony Erdmann. I don't know if that's a comedy or not. But I'm really curious to watch it now if it is a comedy, because nothing I had read about that suggested that it was a comedy. And Have a Good Cry. Oh, we have up on here. Okay, so we will have some animation on this list. Explore the World of Cinema. These are obviously international films. So that's great. Consider nonfiction. Okay, yeah, you see nonfiction. Actually, I think Grizzly Man's more of a thriller than The Act of Killing, but whatever. Grow Up with a Teenager. Some of these I have not seen. Go Back in Time and Learn Some History. It's going to be very interesting. Watch Words Come to Life. I guess those are adapted screenplays of what they're talking about. Give Yourself a Scare. Uncut Gems is not horror. Technically, Grizzly Man isn't either, but I can kind of understand why they put it here. Seek Out an Auteur's Vision. Yeah, there's some auteur visions there, that's for sure. Put the Music First. Watch the Earth in Peril. Go to Space. All right. Now, if you can see this, if you can't see this, then they have some lists. They have all 100 movies ranked. See how your favorite stars and directors voted. Vote for your top 10 movies of the century. Play our game. Choose the best genre movie of the century. For the record, vote for your top 10 movies of the century is by far the most popular option. By the way, if there is an option, feel free to share your choices in the comments below, or heck, if we're doing this live, maybe you can share your tweets or social media posts. We can look at it live, and we can, maybe I can critique your lists, for whatever that's worth, or at least I will comment on them if you share live. So, okay, let's do the all 100 movies ranked, because that's obviously finally 20-1. So let's see here. Oh, for Pete's sakes. And this is the kind of thing that can drive you nuts. This is all right. And the thing about live, so for those of you who can't see this live, they are asking me to is there any way to just not sign up for that, or are they just going to try to force me? They're going to try to force me to. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because you know what, I can write this off as a business expense. I am going to subscribe to this. Let me make sure that you can't see what I'm doing, and I will. Yeah, I'm gonna subscribe to this. So just so that we can, just so that we can do this properly, and I think this. So. Let me see if this just works, because this might actually, because for $4 I can write this off on my business. Hold on one second, folks. Unfortunately, because of the live aspect, I'm not really able to edit this out, but I will do what I can to keep this from getting boring. Okay. Subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, you're welcome. So let me check. Does that fix the ad problem? That fixes the ad problem. Okay, folks, let's add this back and we will continue. We'll start. Here's the 100 best movies of the 21st century. In all fairness, they have like a nice little setup. This is probably why this feature was so. This is the kind of thing that does sell subscriptions. More than 500 influential directors, actors, and other notable names in Hollywood around the world voted for the best films released since January 1st, 2000. Here is how their ballots stacked up. Between streaming services and superhero blockbusters, the way we watch and think about movies have changed dramatically over the past 25 years. But through that period of upheaval, which films have truly stood the test of time? To find out, we embarked on an ambitious new project pulling more than 500 filmmakers, stars, and influential film fans to vote for the 10 best movies, however they choose to define that, released since January 1st, 2000. The collaboration with The Upshot, we compiled their responses to create a list of 100 best movies of the 21st centuries. Voters included Oscar-winning directors like Pedro Almodovar, Sofia Coppola, Barry Jenkins, and Guillermo del Toro, as well as acclaimed actors like Chiwetel Ejiofor and Mikey Madison, John Turturro, and Julianne Moore. Now you can finally see 2221. So, I mean, I guess this was they were releasing it a little at a time. Okay, so number 100, and hey, that's a nice, promising start. Superbad. Greg Mottola. Yes, I do love Superbad. This was a very good coming-of-age story. Had a lot of heart. I love it. Oh, and here's the thing. I can check to I've either seen it or I want to watch it. Well, I've seen Superbad, so I'm going to click that. Julianne Moore voted for this. How interesting. 99, Memories of a Murder. Folks, this is a great one. It's part of the Criterion Collection. It's Bong Joon-ho. Great little mystery thing. This was chosen by Charles Melton, actor. I believe he's Ron Howard's brother. So I've seen it. And look, there's a little counter. I've seen 2. Anytime I haven't seen it, I'll check I want to watch so that, I can keep track of that. Okay, Grizzly Man, Werner Herzog. Yeah, this is, by the way, one of the great documentaries of all time. The Academy made a mistake by not nominating this for Best Documentary Feature. And actually, one of the creepiest things about this is that they actually caught this guy's death on camera, or at least the audio of it. And they had the director listening to the audio tapes. We don't hear about it. And when he takes off, he's like, if I were you, I would destroy these tapes. And very powerful movie. Gravity. This was I selected this for the best film of the year in 2013. One of the great 3D experiences of all time. If you have not watched this movie in 3D, I would argue you almost haven't seen it. This was voted for by Edgar Wright. So yes, seen it. Seen 4. So 4 for 4 so far. Black Panther. Yep. I mean, look, as much as we complain about the superhero movies, there are great ones out there. Black Panther is definitely one of them. It helps that Ryan Coogler wrote and directed it. Who voted for that? They don't tell you who voted for that one. That's weird, but okay. The Worst Person in the World. Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. Without going into too many details, I'm kind of going through this right now in some way. So this movie, I guess, would end up kind of looking a little like my life. That's all we're going to say about that, but it is a great movie. The person I'm going through with this clearly did not take the message of this film to heart, though. I'll just say that. Minority Report by Steven Spielberg. Yep, I like it. I think this is a really fun science fiction movie. I don't know if I would put in the top 100. Of course, they only ask you to pick 10, so you know how that works. But I do like Minority Report. Did see that one. Now, Michael Clayton. Oh, I'm so glad that Michael Clayton is on here. This is probably, in my opinion, George Clooney's best performance. Michael Clayton is such a great character. I love how he says, "I'm not a miracle worker, I'm a janitor." And yeah, that one was really good. So Arian Moayed, the actor, he he selected that one. 92 Gladiator. Okay, I don't like Gladiator. I think most people who watch my content know I don't like this movie very much. I think it's sloppily edited. I don't think the CGI was ever very impressive. I've seen it. Nicholas Sparks. Oh, really? Nicholas Sparks. Okay, well, whatever. I acknowledge Gladiator is one of those movies that everyone seems to love that I don't like. So, Fish Tank. I have not seen Fish Tank. So, first strike against it. I was hoping we could get to at least the first 10 without having to check that. Number 90, Frances Ha. Yeah, that was a good one. Part of the Criterion Collection. And I'm kind of surprised that Greta Gerwig, I mean, she had her boyfriend Noah Baumbach direct this, but this really should have been like her directorial debut. I think she would have done a great job on this. But hey, it was still a good movie. Definitely like that one. Interstellar. Christopher Nolan, yeah, of course. 5 stars for me. Simu Liu voted on that one. Okay. The Cleaners and I. Oh, what is this? The pioneer who helped kickstart with an intimate voiceover. Okay, I have not seen this movie. I have not seen The Cleaners and I, so I can't really comment on that one. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Yep. By the way, are they going to cheat? Are they going to put all 3 Lord of the Rings on here? I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, the third one's the best, but the first one also had the element of surprise that the other 2 did not have. So, Past Lives. That's a fairly recent movie, but it was such a strong film that I can see why this first time film from Greta Lee really struck a nerve, and why it's already on here despite it not being very old. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Okay, I do like this movie. I would not put it on this list personally. Tell you, that's a shame. I'd kind of like to know who put that one on there. Probably Seth Rogen. But yeah, so there you go. Melancholia, Lars von Trier. I do not like Lars von Trier. Not gonna lie, folks. I think von Trier is, he just has the most cynical attitude. I don't think he has as much to say as he thinks he does. I don't like his style of movies. I did see this one, but I don't like it. I would not have picked it. Inside Llewyn Davis. Yep, I've seen this one. This one was pretty good. Rachel Zegler. Okay, I knew there's a reason I liked Rachel Zegler, even though I don't 100% agree with her politics. No, I like her because she's a good actress. But that warms my heart that she picked Inside Llewyn Davis. That's not a movie that people her age would probably normally appreciate. So I'm kind of glad that was the case. Okay, The Act of Killing. Yeah, that. Oh boy, folks, that's an interesting movie documentary. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely see this one if you haven't seen it, folks. It's really, really good. Okay. 81, Black Swan, Darren Aronofsky. Is it strange that Black Swan might be one of the more straightforward films that Darren Aronofsky has made? I mean, geez, even Noah was a little off kilter, but I think we could at least follow the story of Black Swan. I do like that movie quite a bit, and I have seen it. Volver, oh, that's a good one. Pamela Anderson for that. It's kind of funny how some of the people. Okay, so we got to 80, and I've seen 19. So okay, I'm doing pretty good. I've only missed 2. Tree of Life. This is one of my favorite movies. I actually saw this movie after a day or 2 after my sister-in-law died, and I think that really helped me appreciate this even more. I've never seen a movie so perfectly visualize the struggle between grace and sin, basically goodness and evil. Terrence Malick is criticized for being a little too, starry-eyed or, being a little too vague in his stuff. And I mean, the Tree of Life, if you don't like that kind of stuff, the Tree of Life is not going to change your mind on that very much. But I think this was probably one of the best ways he used it. So, okay. After Sun. Okay. I don't like After Sun very much. I actually don't really understand I don't. I get it, but I don't like it very much. It's like, okay, like the father is yeah, yeah, the father's not a great dad. I mean, he tries, but he's not, and the daughter's coming to terms with that. So I mean, I think it's okay, but everything everywhere all at once. I really did like this movie. I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed that movie. It looked so weird, but it was really good. Voted for by Justice Smith. Yeah, that makes sense. That seems like a movie Justice Smith would like. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Okay, this is going to surprise you, folks. I've not seen Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Haven't seen it. It's bugged me that I've not seen it, and now I probably really should see it. But yeah, never seen that one, so can't comment. Amour. Oh, what a devastating movie that was. Yeah, that's... yeah, oh, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. Yeah, I know age comes for us all, and Pedro Almodovar. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, by the way, one thing I'm noticing just right now, like if you see, I've seen it next to it, they say liked it, and then they recommend some movies. So they say, oh, if you like this one, try 45 Years, Vortex, and The Father. Yeah, I could see why you would recommend those movies if you happen to like this one. The Florida Project. Okay, I just saw this a couple weeks ago, and that was great. Yeah, no, Mikey Madison. I think that's it. That's kind of cheating. Mikey Madison starred in Sean Baker's other movie, Honora, so of course she's going to be a little biased on that one. But that said, The Florida Project is really good, and like one of the things I like about it, how it kind of shows like almost the disconnect between like the locals who live near the amusement parks and things like that, where people go to pay lots of money to escape reality, and then the reality is right outside the magic gates, and it's not always great. So Ratatouille, hey, some animation finally. And yeah, Ratatouille is a great one. Here's something that's really interesting. Liked it, tried The Taste of Things, Babbitt's Feast, or A Bug's Life. I mean, I kind of like that. It seems like a little bit more thought was put in his recommendations. I don't know what A Bug's Life has to do with Ratatouille other than the fact that they were both made by Pixar. But like Babbitt's Feast and The Taste of Things, yeah, those are two great movies about food and cooking and things like that. So I can understand why those would be recommended. Number 72, Carol, Todd Haynes. Yep, seen it. I believe I liked it. Haven't seen it in a while, but I don't recall disliking it. Ocean's 11. Yep, I've seen that. Voted for by Joel Kim Booster. I don't know who that is, but oh well. Let the Right One In. I have not seen this one. Okay. The fourth movie on this list that I have not seen. Under the Skin. Jonathan. I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen that one. Okay. Hurt Locker. Catherine Bigelow. Yes. Actually, this is a great action movie. I know it's considered a war movie, but it really is like a great action movie. There's a reason it won Best Picture. Tar, ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, well, if Kate Blanchett hadn't already won 2 Oscars, I would have been rooting for her to win this for this movie, but she had already won twice. So yeah, voted for by Matthew Weiner. So I apologize for that name, buddy. That's an unfortunate name. 66 Spotlight. Yep, that was a 5-star movie for me. Oppenheimer. Oh, I picked that as the best film of that year. Picked by Stephen King. Cool. So, but yeah, no, Oppenheimer. Yeah, definitely deserved Best Picture. Probably deserved more than 6 Oscars, to be honest. But Gone Girl, David Fincher. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I love that thriller. David Fincher. He's probably going to have a couple movies on this list. Little Miss Sunshine. This is not a family movie. I cannot stress that enough. It's not a family movie, but it is a very charming and likable movie. I love it. Like, see this little scene where they're running. Like, how can you not smile? They have to do this, by the way, because something about the ignition isn't starting, so they have to kind of push the thing and get it moving so that they get it. So, yeah, that's what's going on. Hey, little girl, what's going on? Dog just jumped on the ground. Memento, another Christopher Nolan. That's 3 movies I think that Christopher Nolan has directed on this list so far. Hey, girl, come on, come here, girl. You want to watch the movies with me, girl? You wanna critique the movies with me? Say hello to the people, girl. Say hello to the people. Like say hello. Yeah. So obviously, people listening to this podcast can't see her, but I can assure you, she is an adorable pug. Lilo, say hello one more time. Let them have a good look at your face. There you go. Okay, let's get back to this. So yeah, Memento, love it, seen it. Let's continue. Kill Bill Volume 1. Yep. Loved it. I mean, what's there to say? That's just an action classic. F60, Whip. That's a great movie. By the way, I still will argue that J.K. Simmons is not a supporting performance in this movie. He's the lead. Just throwing it out there. Tony Erdmann. Okay, I did not see that one. So we're now up to 6 that I have not seen. Uncut Gems, one of Adam Sandler's best performances. Amazingly, a lot of people I recommend this to do not like the movie, maybe because it is rough. I mean, the language is definitely pretty brutal, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, like you don't get to see Adam Sandler be that good in movies most of the time, and I'm happy to see it here. Best in Show. Yeah, it's been a very long time, but I did see this when I was a teenager. Punch Drunk Love. Oh, another. Who'd have thought 2 Adam Sandler movies on the top 100 greatest films of the 21st century, and they were both 2 of his best performances. Interestingly, this is the movie that Adam Sandler fans point to and they hate, probably because it's not like an Adam Sandler movie, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. Inception. Ooh, I think that's a 4th film from Christopher Nolan on this list. Also worth talking about because Will Smith said no to this movie. Will Smith said no to this movie. Like, why wouldn't you work with Christopher Nolan anyway? Uzo Aduba wrote for that one. Okay, I like that one. Pan's Labyrinth. Oh, so glad to see that here. That's one of the great fantasy movie. Like, billed as a fairy tale for adults. Yep, that is. Yep, Brett Goldstein voted for that one. Okay. Borat. Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. Yeah. Such a funny movie. Actually, probably more relevant today than it was when it first came out because of the whole immigration thing that's going on. Are you chewing the table, girl? What are you doing? Okay. The Favorite. Yorgos Lanthimos. Oh yes, probably his most straightforward movie he's ever directed. Yeah, definitely like that one. I still feel bad that Glenn Close has not won an Oscar, but I do love that movie. 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, that's a movie that can definitely make you feel just a little ashamed of America, unfortunately. But it is great. It was important. I mean, it's like, yeah, that actually probably should be required viewing in film in class. Up. Pete Docter. So we've had 2 animated movies, both from Pixar. So wonder if we're gonna get any animated movies that's not Pixar on this list. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I definitely agree with Up being there. Before Sunset. Yep, I do love the Before Sunset trilogy. 48 The Lives of Others. Yep, I don't think this was as good as Pan's Labyrinth, which it beat for the Oscar, but this is a really good movie if you haven't seen it. Almost Famous. Yep, Cameron Crowe's probably one of the best movies Cameron Crowe ever made. Mikey Madison voted for that one. Okay, yeah, Mikey, I think you and I would be friends, so that's good. Roma. Love Roma. Yep. So glad I actually got to see it in theaters. I'm so glad I got to see it in theaters. I don't know if the experience would have been as good if I had watched it at home. All right, Moneyball. Yep, that's a great movie. I'm not even a huge baseball fan, but I do like to sort of how this guy basically broke the rules on how you play baseball. I thought that was all really interesting. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Do love that movie. Tarantino. Okay, is that the second or third? I think that's the second Tarantino movie that's been on this list. Old Boy. Okay, this is embarrassing. I've not seen Old Boy. I feel embarrassed that I haven't seen it. Yep, I get it. It's one of those movies that you think everyone should have seen by now, but I haven't seen Old Boy. The Master. Yeah, masterful piece of filmmaking. Yep, I went there. But The veiled commentary on Scientology. Amelie, that how do you how many orgasms can people have at one time? The answer, 47. I have to now put an explicit content warning in front of the episode just because of that comment. But how could you not? That scene was just so funny. Yee. I haven't seen Yee. Another one I have to watch. I'm kind of hoping to not get to 10 that I haven't seen, but we'll see. 39, Lady Bird. So fun fact about Lady Bird, I grew up in Sacramento, so all of the big locations from Sacramento, I recognize this. In fact, when they showed the Tower Theater in this movie, I was in the Tower Theater watching Lady Bird. So that was just wonderful. So Portrait of a Lady on Fire. This was one of two movies that I saw in theaters right before theaters closed before COVID. The other one was I Still Believe. We did a double feature that day because we sensed the theaters were going to be closing soon. And sure enough, a few days later, the theaters closed. So, what, girl? What's going on? Call Me By Your Name. This movie probably plays a little differently because of the Armie Hammer allegations, but it is a good movie. A Serious Man, yep, that's a good one. I'm surprised to see it so high on this list. But Lilo, girl, we're live. We are live. I'm sorry, but I don't know what's going on. But you trying to play? Is that what it is? Well, I'm live streaming, girl. I'm live streaming. The people. We're almost through the list, okay, girl? We're almost through the list. This is why you don't have dogs in the recording studio usually with you. But, hey, stop it. Stop it, okay? Okay? I can't edit this out, girl. Don't. This dog, I swear. And by the way, on a side note, I think cuteness is a defense mechanism for pugs because sometimes I want to kill this one. That's no joke, folks. I love this dog. I would never consider doing that. A Prophet. So, it's funny how Emilia Perez was like one of my least favorite movies to get a bunch of Oscar nominations recently. When I know that Jacques Audiard is capable of making great movies like A Prophet. And if you liked Emilia Perez, and wonder why people were complaining, stop it, girl. We're doing the podcast. This is why. WALL-E, another anime movie, another Pixar movie. Folks, 1 second. There's no one there, girl. There's no one there now. If you're getting a little tired, I can put you over there. You can go do whatever you want to do. 33, A Separation. Oh, that's a great movie. That is a, yeah, no. Folks, if you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend that one. Yeah. Bridesmaids is such a funny movie. I love Bridesmaids. That's one that makes me laugh almost every time. The Departed. It's funny how there was a lot of complaints that was a makeup Oscar for Martin Scorsese, but I've watched The Departed quite a few times. It really has held up very well. Lost in Translation. We're in the top 30. Sofia Coppola. Love that movie. Bill Murray's greatest performance. Rival. Oof, yeah. Probably Amy Adams' best performance next to Enchanted. Love that one. The Dark Knight. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Okay, this is like the 5th Christopher Nolan movie. Why would Will Smith say no to working with Christopher Nolan? And this is still the standard that superhero movies are held to. There has not been a superhero film that has been as good as The Dark Knight. And that came out in 2008. Has it really been that long? Wow. Adaptation. Yeah, that's a unique movie. If you haven't seen it, Chris Cooper's Oscar-winning performance. Definitely love that. Okay, I do not think Anatomy of a Fall should be here. I did not like this movie. but I have seen it, so I get to say, oh, I've seen it, so yay. All right, so glad to see Phantom Thread here. Like, probably Paul Thomas Anderson's most underrated film in the sense that, he's made a lot of movies that people praise a lot. I don't think this one gets enough praise, but I'm glad to see it's here. I'm glad someone acknowledged it. Her, Spike Jonze. Yeah, that's a really good movie. That's really weird. But that's a movie that, it's just a little over 10 years old. And it is so much more relevant today than it was when it came out. Like, especially now you're reading stories about people who are actually like dating and proposing to their AIs. Like, this movie was so ahead of its time. Boyhood. Yep. Oh, I love Boyhood. Part of the Criterion Collection, folks. Like, what a unique experience that movie was. I love how, like, just a straight up comedy like The Grand Budapest Hotel can make it this high on the list. This is definitely one of Wes Anderson's masterpieces. All right, The Royal Tenenbaum, another one. I actually think The Grand Budapest is a little better, but I love them both. 20. We're in the top 20, folks. I've seen 72 of these movies so far. I've only missed 8. Can I get to the end of this list without needing to watch 10? Does anyone want to start taking bets now in the comments or something? Like, would love to. Okay, Wolf of Wall Street. I have seen The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, great movie. Zodiac, David Fincher. Oh yeah, that's one of David Fincher's underrated masterpieces. Y Mama Tambien. Yep, I've seen this one. If this movie had gotten a rating, it would have been rated NC-17, and it would have been the only NC-17 rated movie on this list. But that's a good one. Part of the Criterion Collection. I think that's also on Netflix right now if you just want to stream it. Brokeback Mountain. I'm not as huge of a fan of this movie as some people are, but over the years I've come to appreciate it more. I've seen it. I do like it. Ava DuVernay recommended that one. Okay, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yep, that's one of the great martial arts movies of all time. What's interesting was that a bunch of martial arts movies were brought to America after this movie was a success. And some of them were really good, but, there was just something about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon that was a cut above the rest. Then we have City of God. If you've not seen this one, this is a rough one. But it definitely makes you look at your life and think, my life's really not that bad. It's pretty good. Inglourious Bastards, another Quentin Tarantino movie. Christoph Waltz, great. Oh, I love that Mel Brooks selected it. Of course, Mel Brooks would select something like this for one of the greatest movies of all time. Of course he would. Children of Men, another Alfonso Cuarón. Yep, that's an interesting movie about like them protecting the one pregnant person in the world because people just stopped having kids for some reason. The Zone of Interest, that's pretty darn new, but I also understand why it's here. It definitely made an impression. It deserves to be here. Mad Max Fury Road. See, Dad? A lot of people love this movie. This is one of the greatest action movies of all time, in my opinion, especially when you put down the phone and you let the visuals see. Like, my dad hated this movie, but I have a theory, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing the story, but I was trying to share it with him, saying it's really good, and he was on his phone most of the time, just kind of looking at me. He's like, "Look, what's going on? They're just chasing each other the whole time." And it's like, the visuals and the chase, that's the point. And if you're on your phone, you're not appreciating that. So that's definitely a cell phones down movie. Okay, we're at the top 10, folks. Let's see if I can get through. Social Network. Love that movie. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Why should The King's Speech have beaten that for Best Picture? Although, in all fairness, I picked Social Network as the best film of the year. I picked King's Speech as the second best, so it's not like it's a horrible decision, but Social Network is, again, more relevant today than it was back then. Spirited Away. Hey, an animated movie that's not Pixar, and it's Miyazaki. Yeah, that's one of the greatest films of all time. Definitely glad that John Turturro selected this one. So, yeah, no, glad to see it there. Get Out. Yep, one of the great. This is like Jordan Peele with this one movie became like the Alfred Hitchcock of our day, like creating like a horror movie that I knew would stand the test of time. And yeah, Danielle Brooks, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotlight. I'm surprised this is so high up there, but yeah, no, well deserved. That's a great movie. And we have No Country for Old Men. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably one of the best picture winners of all time. Definitely love that one. Moonlight. Oh, yeah, Moonlight. You know, even though I picked La La Land as the best film of that year, I'm really glad Moonlight upset it. In hindsight, that was a better movie and more worthy of winning. And In the Mood for Love. I haven't seen this one. Okay. One of the top 10s. I haven't seen it. That's amazing. All right. There Will Be Blood. See, this is the kind of Paul Thomas Anderson film that gets a lot more credit than like Phantom Thread. And so I'm glad Phantom Thread is on here, but this is definitely his masterpiece. By the way, this was released the same year as No Country for Old Men. So that was like a really good year for movies. Mulholland Drive, David Lynch's best film. And we already know what number one is. It's Parasite. So, wow, folks, out of the 100 movies on this list, I've seen 91 of them. There's only 9 that I haven't seen. Do they keep it? And you can download the sheets. Wonderful. I love it. Okay, I'm definitely going to be sharing this on social media because that is wonderful. I did pretty darn good. Now, these, of course, were not the movies I picked on my top 10. In fact, let me see if I can find, because it's unfortunately been a couple weeks, so, you know, things on social media tend to not save as well as they do. Let me see if I can't find the 10 movies I picked. I probably should have had this on the side to begin with, but I didn't think that far ahead because I was just kind of bored tonight. I was like, well, you've got a show called iCritic Live. Just go live. Go live and, you know, let the chips fall where they may. I'm really surprised Threads is taking so long. Oh, okay. I found it. I found the list. So let me share. This would be a good place to end. This was in no particular order. These were the 10 movies that I picked, or at least I would have picked if I was being consulted. Black Klansman, Roma, Fruitvale Station, Gravity, Traffic, The Dark Knight, Spirited Away, Oppenheimer, Drive My Car, and United 93. I'm still not 100% happy with that list, by the way, folks. I mean, I had to at one point just say stop. I just have to stop because otherwise I'm just going to go on forever and ever, and this list will never get done. But those are what I would have picked. But I am curious, what 10 movies would you pick for the best of 21st century? Are you going to go do this New York Times thing? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. Oh, before we go anywhere, let me pull this up. Something you're going to want to keep an eye on. You know, as you may or may not be aware, especially if you listen to this podcast, we did an interview with Stacy Spikes, the CEO of MoviePass. And on the call, I asked him if he would be willing to sign some books for us to do as a giveaway. And sure enough, he sent me a couple copies of his book. I don't know if I'm going to keep one or not, but at least one of them, they were both signed. There it is. And we are going to be giving this away. So keep an eye on the iCritic YouTube channel. If you want to find out how you can win one, download the Encore e-commerce app, search iCritic, follow me, and that's where we'll be giving the book away, and there will be more details soon. So yeah, it's going to be, I want to do more of these giveaways the more subscribers we get. So anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed looking at these movies with me. I would like to know which ones you've seen, which ones you haven't, what you would have picked. So let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you at the movies. Take care. And as you can hear, my dog is getting into something, so I have to go.